The county unemployment rate has dropped once again, as well as unemployment rates in the city and state. Mary, is the economy rebounding in Washington County?
I guess a little bit, but not enough to really feel the effects. And I'm just speaking from personal experience. I think a lot of my friends that I speak with who are recent college graduates, if they found a job, first of all, not all of them have found jobs. A lot of them are still interning because the job market is not exactly the best.
Right.
Or if they have already found a job, it doesn't pay very well. That's why a lot of them are still living with their parents, trying to pay off their student loans. So even though, there's a difference of 0.3% here, not really enough to feel the effects, in my opinion.
Yeah, but every portion of a percentage point is a good thing.
It's true.
I mean, the trend is good. The problem is, in my opinion, Washington County has always been a lagging economy. So we get where others have already gone 5, 6, 7 months later. Now that may be beneficial when the economy's going down because we have some time to plan for it. But it certainly hurts on the way back up. And by all counts, this is the slowest growth we've ever seen as a nation in terms of the last 7 years.
Well, let's take the percentage points and convert them into real hard numbers. Okay, we added about 70 new jobs. Okay, 70. Okay, that's not
10.
That's not overly impressive. The reduction, let's see, we had 170 fewer claims. So that 100 is, to me, I think that's 100 people not looking for a job anymore because of frustration.
Right, that's what I was going to ask. What about the people who have stopped looking and have just kind of given up? I mean, does that factor into this?
Well, the labor force, the problem is it doesn't factor in. So people that drop out of the labor force are no longer reflected in the number.
Right.
And unfortunately, I don't think there's any, that I've ever heard of, any good way to measure what that number is. But we know it's out there and we know it's larger than what it has been in the past, and that's a big issue.
Right, and there may be jobs available, like kind of entry level, fast food type jobs, but they're not the kind of jobs that a recent college graduate is going to go for, or in order to pay off their student loans. I mean, they might settle for a job like that because they have to pay off their loans, but just because jobs are being created doesn't mean they're good, sustainable jobs.
Well, I had a friend of mine, about our age, Jim. He sent me an email. Hey, just lost my job. Well, imagine someone who's in their 50s now having to go out into the job market where he's probably was making comfortable money for his family. Fortunately, his kids are through college now. But now he has to go out and enter a job market competing against kids who have the college degree but not necessarily the experience, and employers are willing to pay 10, 20, 30% less to bring someone in with a degree and no experience because it saves them money and they can train them up within their own system. He faces a tough job and probably relocation to try to find some type of job to continue providing for his household.
Right, and that's another thing, is that if people can't find a job here, they're going to commute. And I mean, that's kind of sad too.
Well, and here's the other concern that I have. If you look at the statistics from May, Maryland added about 2,500 jobs in May. Of those 2,500, only 1,100 were private sector jobs. So that means the majority, 1,400, were public sector jobs. I'm just not sure how growing government at that level really helps us.
Now, we don't know whether it was federal or state level
no,
government.
No, and I'm not suggesting it could be county, it could be city, it could be anything.
Right.
But the point is, they're not private sector jobs. They're not jobs, as was, in my opinion, intended by the Constitution to be brought about by private investment.
So, I mean, that leaves us with college students who are recent graduates suffering with a burden of debt that they have to pay off. Middle-aged white men, no offense to everyone else out there, but middle-aged white men attempting to re-enter the workforce, and then those people who have been so discouraged from the workforce in all type of geographic ranges, okay, all type of age groups, and all type of minorities and majorities, who have been frustrated with the economy, that they're going out and I used to make $20 an hour, I used to make $40 an hour working at XYZ. And now I'm lucky I can get a job being a greeter at Walmart. Okay, do I want to make minimum wage working at Walmart, or what am I going to do?
Oh, well, it would be nice if they raised it to $15 an hour. Then that would be a little bit better than the.
Then we'll just replace them with a computer. Welcome to Walmart. Thank you very much.
Right, exactly.
Well, and the other thing that we'll do is we'll raise the prices at Walmart to reflect the fact that, I mean, so, you know, that's a never-ending battle, in my opinion. And I don't know how anybody can justify. And again, I have no problem paying $15 an hour minimum wage, but understand the other side of that.
And don't mandate it. That's not the federal, in my opinion, it's not the federal government or state government's job to mandate.
And if we have full employment, minimum wage is not an issue.
Exactly.
Because when you have more demand than you have supply, people are going to pay more for talented people, and it won't be an issue.
And I think the conversation is being had now too. Okay, is it really worth? Is a college degree really worth $100,000 if when I get out of college I'm not even going to be able to land that job that I spent 4 years training?
But a job in American history, there's not a lot of hiring for.
Well, that's
Well,
true.
you know, and I'm one that believes there's no such thing as a bad job. If you're happy in your job, go for it. And I don't care if you've got a doctorate degree and you want to be an administrative assistant type person, or if you want to sweep floors somewhere, that's fine. That's your choice. But the point is, there are a lot of people that at this point are really consider themselves underemployed, and
Now,
that is problematic.
do we see that changing? And not just in Washington County scenario, but in the, Maryland or the tri-state region. Do we see a change? Do we see something driving up that is going to start to improve what wages are, improve
we need to get the economy back to some level of growth. I mean, the growth that we're seeing now, this less than 3% GDP over the last 7 years, again, is the worst in this country's history.
And that's at the forefront of voters' minds, is who, between the two candidates, who is going to put the economy at the top of the list. That's at least one of my priorities as I go.
Well, and I think unfortunately, and I wish what you said just now was the truth, but unfortunately I think that more often than not we have underinformed voters, and I hope that's one of the things this program can change. Not that they should listen to our opinions, but at least if we can engage them to move forward.
Jim, on that word, we're going to sit down. Next up on the flip side, what is next for the city of Hagerstown? Our panel has the details in 3 minutes.